With that, we would like to start the fireside chat, the conversations with Imam Deen Mohammed II. This has always been a very popular and inspiring program with the understanding that we are able to see, I guess, the human side of Imam Warith II, ask him some of the questions. We thought that this was the best way to bring Imam Warith to the people. He knows his father very, very well. He understands the ministry, and also Imam Muhammad has also saw in him the best that to represent his ministry and his works. Now, you may see other people that may say, well, we know Imam Muhammad, but who best to know to speak of Imam Muhammad than his own son, Imam Warith II? So with that, we would like to bring Imam Warith II to the microphones and to give him the most honored and respected greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Praise due to Allah. I'm really happy to be back here again. We've had this program, I believe it's going on about 7 years, and all praise due to Allah. It's always been one that I'm eager and very comfortable with. And I'm ready to get started whenever you are. I appreciate the opportunity. I agree with your opening statement wholeheartedly that I think to do respect, culture often neglects having respect where respect should be. We've lost course. It's a suggestion in pop culture, to do your own thing and to do things the way you want to do it. And it's not how humanity has advanced. Humanity has advanced on organization and hard work and diligence and respect for establishment. So I appreciate this opportunity.
I will bring on Imam Al-Hajj, Ismail ShamsidDeen, who has many, many conversations with Imam Muhammad, and he would like to bring these information out to you.
With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. And the reason why I quoted it twice is because it's so important. Before I get into some question, I like to do a little dialogue of Imam Deen Mohammed. I met Imam Deen Mohammed in January 17, 1975. We were bringing him in to New York City. And that conversation with regard to that particular day, Captain Yusuf Shah, or Imam Yusuf Shah, told me we have to go pick up Imam Deen Mohammed. And we went and picked him up at the Kennedy Airport that day. And then the next day, he began to speak to the FOI. And in that process, January 18th, 1975, he began to unfold where he was going far as becoming the leader. He wasn't the leader. Elijah Muhammad was still alive. His father was still alive. But in 1975, he began to cultivate us and to get us orientated into the process of becoming the leader. I would like for you to talk to us about him as a person, not as a leader, not as one who was over the community, so forth. Yes. Let's talk a little bit about him as a person, him as a man. How was he in the household? Before he became the leader, he was a welder. They put him out. Yes. During the Nation of Islam, they put him out, and he needed a job. So he didn't know anything about welding. He had to find out a little bit about welding. He did windows. He did a lot of odd jobs. He did a little bit about boxing and so forth and so on. So this, I want to talk about, just give me a little insight of the man.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to give us a real quick view of that, because I was around during that time, during the time when he was a welder. That was a good time. That was when he was preparing himself. He was doing a lot. He was welding, but he was doing a lot of studying. He had a lot of papers. He had a lot of books open. He always had the Quran. And that's the time that I remember so fondly, because I could spend hours. I was a quiet son, and I had the same name as him. So my nature told me to stay close to your father at all times, and because that's where I felt comfortable. He was more of a buddy, like a friend. He would say things He could keep you laughing, he could keep you smiling. But while he was reading his books and studying, you almost couldn't even get his ear. You talk, he'd tune everything out. So I remember sitting under the table a lot, and I felt comfortable and safe. When you know the story of Malcolm X being put out and Imam Muhammad was put out around the same time, the Nation of Islam, what we need to understand was like a military governmental unit. It was very serious. Many of us, when we think about people that are serious in religion, the Jehovah Witnesses and other groups, we don't know too much about that unless people have had experience and joined the armed forces. So Imam Muhammad, let's say that his father was a military leader. So likewise, in the beginning, he was a person that stuck with those disciplines, and he was accepted back into the Nation of Islam as a minister, and he was sent to Temple number 12 in Philadelphia, where he was very, very successful. He won the love of the members of the Nation of Islam that was from the Temple 12, and they continue to love him to this day, the descendants and some of those that are still around that will remember him. He was very, very loyal. He wasn't trying to bring his ideas in, but as a minister, he would introduce some things. You see, the Quran at the same time was shaping his mind and shaping his spirit and who he would become as a leader. It actually shaped him as a leader while he was still teaching in the Nation of Islam.